for the coronavirus. Nigeria has recorded some of these cases, and people are advised to take these preventive measures to keep themselves safe and contain the further spread of the virus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water, or use hand sanitizers all the time. Maintain social distancing. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Practice respiratory hygiene. If you have fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early. Do not panic. Stop the spread of unconfirmed news. Follow the official government news outlets and report all cases immediately. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Welcome to Abuja, the place that unites Nigeria.
Coronavirus, where the nickname na COVID-19, it not be big man who sickness, so if it catch anybody, according to World Health Organization, WHO, where then they call WHO, make I show you how the disease they take spread.
Oga travel go abroad, come back with symptoms of COVID-19 infection. As he land for airport, driver go carry and come house. His wife and pikin welcome am. Cook arrange food for Oga. Houseboy and house girl pack Oga load enter house. Na so Oga begin spread this infection to him people. Driver go mechanic workshop, go spread am. Cook go open market to go buy one or two things. She go spread am too. Even house cleaner go back her house, go spread the same infection. Now so this coronavirus begin take style dey spread from family to we country people.
So therefore, make we join hands obey all the instructions wey government and our medical people don give us. So wash your hands with water and soap regularly, or use hand sanitizer. No go join body for where people gather plenty. Maintain social distancing.
Hello, it is another Wednesday and it is good to be here. Do I need to tell you what we are at? Well, for first-time viewers, this is News Extra, the news bulletin that comes to you with the extra touch. And today, as usual, the package has all the attributes of the extra touch. We start from the powerhouse, where the president and House Speaker rubbed minds. You know, something good must come out of such mind rubbing. We will tell you all about it. Education topped the chart of resolutions at today's Federal Executive Council meeting. So many new private universities approved. We will tell you how many and other resolutions. Youth empowerment has a good mention in today's package. After all, the youths are the future leaders. We have stories on agriculture, roads rehabilitation, and a package on the business environment. Of course, we won't be done without an update on the disease of the day, COVID-19. Are you thinking of revalidating your children with a paternity test? Well, listen to the Port Harcourt experience. It might guide you. Well, that is just a sneak preview of the total package. There is much more you will find as we move on. After all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Umar Buba. and this is News Extra. You're welcome. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, is assuring the newly appointed service chiefs of the necessary legislative backing to the nation's armed forces in the task of dismantling obstacles to national security and stability for a prosperous Nigeria. The Speaker gave the assurance while speaking to journalists after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari. And State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The high-level engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila was the first in the new year, and discussions centered on the state of the nation. After the meeting that lasted about 45 minutes, the Speaker described as welcoming the appointment of new service chiefs for the nation's armed forces.
That's what everybody's been clamoring for. House, Senate, public, and the president took his time, and he studied the situation very well, and he did it at the right time that he thought he should do it. So we're all in support of what he has done. We are all in this situation together. The National Assembly will not in any way put hurdles before the service chiefs. We will make the working environment suitable for them to be able to discharge their responsibility and discharge it very efficiently.
On the unhealthy relationship between herders and natives in parts of the country, Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila said effective legislation that will address the situation frontally will be put in place when the House resumes on Tuesday.
I don't think any ethnic group should lord it over any ethnic group. The Southwest should not lord it over the North. The Northwest should not lord it over the South. We should respect each other's trade, geographical space, history, culture, and more importantly, the issue of crime, murder, all those things should be completely jettisoned. But the important thing is that we all need to sit down on the table and discuss this matter and look for a way forward. And I think everybody is ready to do that.
He also touched on the ongoing membership registration and revalidation exercise of the governing APC, urging Nigerians to take advantage of the opportunity to get registered.
I will encourage all party members to come in and register. I will encourage those who are not even party members, who have not been registered before, those who have attained the age of 18, those who have seen some of the good works of Mr. President and this party, to come in and join the fold and register, come and take ownership of this party.
But some may ask why the APC?
Show me an alternative. If you can show me an alternative with cogent reasons why, then we can begin to talk. But right now there is no alternative. APC has done a lot, and I want us to be very objective.
He, however, said APC has not been able to effectively propagate itself, insisting that efforts must be intensified towards marketing the unprecedented strides recorded by the governing party. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In another development, the Federal Executive Council has approved the establishment of 20 new private investors in the country. Amongst them is Mariam Abacha American University of Nigeria, Kano. The Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, announced this while briefing journalists after the council's meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again reports that approvals have also been granted towards enhancing the nation's industrialization drive, transportation, as well as aviation safety and security.
It was the third meeting of the Federal Executive Council for the year 2021 and 32nd to be held virtually in compliance with the COVID-19 Safety Advisory. Efforts at expanding access to tertiary education in Nigeria dominated discussions as the Council approved the establishment of 20 new private universities in the country. The institutions located in 5 out of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country brings the number of private universities in Nigeria to 99. One of them, the Mariam Abacha American University of Nigeria, Kano in the Northwest, is the first officially approved bilingual university in Africa, accredited by ASIC of the United Kingdom and a member of the American Council of Education.
Council has approved, and they will now get their provisional licenses, which they will use for the next 3 years while we are monitoring and evaluating how they are going.
The council also approved about 62 billion naira for the construction of power stations at the Calabar and Cano export processing zones.
The whole intention of the upgrade of the two zones is to create zones with world-class standard. The Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is desirous of making Nigeria a manufacturing hub, especially now that we have signed on to the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
The Aluminium Smelting Company of Nigeria, Ikorabasi, Akwa Ibom State, has been given the go-ahead by the council to commence aluminium production in the country.
BP has concessioned that company, and the company sought to be categorized as a power producer and as a strategic company, which council approved, so that we can start the production of aluminium in Nigeria.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Muhammad announced the approval of over 1.2 billion naira contract for the design, supply and installation of PTZ long-range farmer camera sprayer system, as well as a mobile surveillance system at Lagos and Abuja airports.
The Honourable Minister of Transportation sought Council's approval for the award of contract for the procurement of 2 hydrographic survey boats for the National Inland Waterways Authority in the sum of 783,521,275 naira with a completion period of 6 months.
In the meantime, at the instance of President Muhammadu Buhari, a moment of silence was observed by council members in honor of 2 former ministers who died recently. They were Alhaji Alpha Wali from Kano State, who served as Minister of Agriculture, as well as Prince Tony Momo from Edo State, who was Minister of Information and Culture under the Babangida administration. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Yobe state government has taken another step towards reforming the non-formal Sangaya school system of education in the state. If you don't know, Sangaya is what they call the Almajiri system of education over there. The move is to provide a framework to facilitate effective integration of the system into the basic education program. Adam Yusuf Ali reports.
The school system of education occasioned by Almajiris learning the Holy Quran and Arabic language under an Islamic scholar has more than 1,000 years of history under the famous Borno Empire, which the present Yobe state falls under. However, with advancement of teachings and learnings, technological innovations, in addition to abuses of children, the education system has continued to face serious challenges and threats. More so, the system seems to defy the solutions proffered by government in many states across northern Nigeria, where the Sangaya school system of education is renowned and practiced. With this in focus, Yobe State government recently constituted a steering committee on reform of the Sangaya system of education and findings by the technical system after months of painstaking work and visitations to more than 1,000 villages, towns, settlements, Islamic scholars, and emirate councils, discovered a total of 3,838 Sangaya schools, comprising of boarding, day, and satellites, with an enrollment figure of 180,371 Almajiris.
Almajiri or Sangaya schools have been part of our educational and religious upbringing. Most people get enrolled into Sangaya schools before enrolling into formal schools. Such schools provided both the religious knowledge and the knowledge required for documentation of transactions, among others.
In the interim report, as submitted by the Commissioner of Basic and Secondary Education, Dr. Muhammad Sani Idris, the committee expressed worry that the present-day Almajiris are victims of neglect and are vulnerable to various forms of exploitations, including sexual exploitations, drug abuse, and most dangerously, at the risk of being recruited as fighters for violent extremist groups. In Damaturu, Adam Yusuf Ali, NTA News.
In the meantime, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has called for a moral and ethical reorientation across all sectors in order to achieve a corruption-free society. This was on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria while discussing reports by Transparency International on Nigeria. Ekemini Williams has that.
2020 Corruption Perception Index (CPI) report released by Transparency International says Nigeria ranked 149th on its latest Corruption Perception Index after it peaked 25 points. Speaking on this development, Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed says federal government has initiated significant policies to enhance transparency and accountability in governance and are currently being implemented. Some of the policies include launch of the ICPC National Ethics Policy and Nigerian Ports Process Manual, among other reforms.
It will appear as if Nigeria's fight against corruption has derailed, but far from it. What the government has done is actually to put emphasis more on preventing corruption and building integrity system. So it takes quite some time before you see the effect. And in addition to all this, even you can see that even the prosecution of high-profile suspects is still going on.
He says government is working towards improving upon data collection and retrieval on these issues to reduce the current underreporting of ongoing corruption reduction measures.
We're also concerned that we've received various assessments from various international and even local anti-corruption agencies. And sometimes you find out that while you are scored high by one agency on one particular index, you are scored low by another agency. So these are issues that we are addressing.
The minister, however, says government is interrogating some discrepancies observed in the rating, which scored Nigeria low and in some cases stagnant for over 10 years. He admonishes Nigerians to cooperate with government in the anti-corruption fight by maintaining moral standards. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
The Global System for Mobile Communications, GSM, has revolutionized, life and living and the ways of doing business since its inception in Nigeria in 2001. But with its opportunities also comes challenges and risks. Olubukola Aduo tells us what we should know about our GSM line in view of the recent federal government's directive on national identity registration.
A recent federal government's directive for all Nigerians to obtain a national identity is one of the ways to check security lapses, which some smart Alecs have exploited to cause mayhem and defraud the innocent. To some of these criminals and fraudsters, the GSM line is more than just a tool of communication, but a weapon.
Federal government is trying to establish one person, one identity. What this means is that once we have captured you and we have assigned this number to you, this number remains with you forever.
Now that the SIM card must be linked to your national identity number, the SIM card has now become precious.
Unlike before, because now once it is linked to your national identity number, if you don't take proper care of your SIM and it gets to wrong hand and is used to commit crime, you will be held responsible.
The truth from the streets of Akure is that while many have obtained their national identity numbers and linked such with their SIM cards, not all know the reason for such.
No. Why? Nothing, because I think it's not necessary.
The various registration centers for the national identity number continue to be a beehive of activities, as over 50% of residents of Ondo State are yet to obtain their identity numbers. But the police say the NIN should be guided jealously along with the SIM card, as both now have implication for personal and national security.
Discovered that a lot of the crime that is perpetrated in the country today are done through phones. So we are so much involved in anything that they are doing. At least that will stem down the tide of fraudulent activities using the phones.
ICT experts advised the federal government to put in place a robust infrastructure for the National Identity Management Commission for the protection and storage of the large volume of personal data of Nigerians being collected by the commission. In Akure, Olubukola Aduo, NTA News.
Now, if you have rape or kidnapping tendencies in your thoughts, don't venture near Kebbi State. Let me warn you that the Kebbi State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Hajia Ramatu Adamu Gulma, says henceforth anyone convicted for kidnapping and rape in the state will have no option because it is death sentence for rapists and life imprisonment for kidnappers. Usman Abdullahi Shehu has the report.
Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice in the state, Hajia Rahmatu Adamu Gulma, said the assented laws are the Administration of Criminal Law 2021, the Model Penal Code Law 2021. Hajia Adamu Gulma explained that with the assenting into law the Model Penal Code 2021, punishment of kidnapping in Kebbi State under Section 247 of the law is death.
So the idea is for it to serve as deterrent to other intending offenders. Whoever intends to commit kidnapping, because apparently some people are seeing it as a business. So if you know that this business, once I do it and I get caught and convicted, I'm going to face death sentence, I think people will think twice before they do that.
Explaining that punishment for rape under Section 259, subsection 1 is life imprisonment.
Rape previously is punished with an option of life imprisonment or any less or even fine, depending on what the judge decides. But now the punishment is life imprisonment with no option of any whatsoever. There's no option of fine, there's no less punishment, it's life sentence.
The Attorney General made it clear that with the coming into law of the Administration of Criminal Justice, there will be less custodial sentencing as the court will have the flexibility of non-custodial sentencing for minor offenses, adding that prisons will therefore be less congested and there will be accelerated and speedy trials of criminal offenses. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
In our local parlance, we'll say, Shewuna here. Chairman, Lagos State Chapter of the All Progressives Congress APC, Tunde Balogun, says the registration and revalidation of members will enable the party have another reliable register. Adiola Kamiakere reports that the state chairman gave this indication as the chapter strategizes to ensure a hitch-free exercise.
Every political party works to woo more members to increase the chances of victory at elections, as politics is a game of numbers. This, the governing All Progressives Congress is aiming to achieve with the registration of prospective members and revalidation of old members. In Lagos, the state chairman, Tunde Balogun, says arrangement has been put in place to ensure a hitch-free exercise to streamline and have a comprehensive party register.
Actual and general registration will really be on the 9th of February, Tuesday 9th of February, and that will be next week. And, we are preparing for that by training people who will do the registration because new members have come in. Those who are of age now, 18 years old, have been brought in. Some have died. Those ones have been deleted by this kind of process.
President Buhari, while flagging off the national APC membership registration in Daura, urged Nigerians to use the opportunity to renew their allegiance and keep faith with the party's rules and regulations in order to take Nigeria to the next level. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
On the All Progressives Congress APC nationwide membership registration and revalidation has continued under a peaceful process and orderly manner. Correspondent Abdul Rahman Usman Jibrila has the report.
The registration began early last week with nationwide compliance with the registration process and revalidation of old membership. From Owerri, the Imo State capital, the registration of new members and revalidation exercise is on course.
APC is providing good roads, providing good hospitals, providing drinking water, providing social intervention, that is employment, empowering our youth. Never in the history of any administration in Nigeria since 1960 has any government provided social interventions like Mohamed Buhari has done.
Similarly, in Oshogbo, the Osun State capital, Governor Boyega Oyetola led other members of the APC family to participate in the exercise.
I'm a member of the caretaker committee, and I'm representing the Southwest Zone.
the committee have been asked to supervise the exercise. So starting from Monday, I'll be going from one state to the other.
In Benin, the Edo state capital, the exercise commenced simultaneously across the state. The exercise is ongoing across the country, with chances for more members to be registered in the coming weeks. In Abuja, Abraham Usman Jibrila, NTA News. Country.
Up ahead on News Extra, nature and man's activities that are looming threats to making Nigeria become unable to satisfy citizens' appetite for a popular source of animal protein. If you are a lover of meat, like yours faithful, then that should interest you. Keep it locked on News Extra for this and more when we return.
Hey guys, making music for you is so easy for me to do. But you know what else is super easy to do? Linking your NIN to your Glow line by dialing *109*NIN#. Or I can call 109 from my Glow line and follow the instructions. And if I don't want to call, I can text my NIN to 109. I can even visit glowworld.com/NIN. And what if you've forgotten your NIN? All you have to do is dial *346# and Glow will help you remember it. Someone may ask, what if I haven't registered? All you have to do is go into the nearest Glow World and we'll help you register. It's that easy. So don't get disconnected from all of the amazing voice and data offers from Glow. Linking your NIN to your Glow lines is simple, safe, and 100% free with zero hassles.
Glow Unlimited.
For you to tanda for this world, you guys know what's up. Sabi waiting day ground, then start to do your own. Get ginger to sabi every. Because when you fit see the different side of the world, anything there possible. BBC News for Pidgin. Make your life better.
The Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, FNCS, FBCS, FIIM, cordially invites you to the groundbreaking ceremony of the National Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center on Thursday, 4th February 2021 by 12 p.m. behind Bolingo Hotel, Central Area, Abuja. The center, aimed at creating an innovative ecosystem, will focus on building an enabling environment that would inspire, connect, and support technology startups, entrepreneurs, and businesses towards innovations and indigenization of technologies. It will be equipped with state-of-the-art facilities that will catalyze innovations by all stakeholders, thereby stimulating economic vitality to create jobs for Nigeria's teeming youths. This is another giant stride of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration towards realizing the vision of transforming Nigeria into a leading digital economy, providing quality life and opportunities for all. Attendance is strictly by invitation in compliance with COVID-19 regulations. Announcer Kashifu Inuwa Abdullahi, CCIE Director General, NITA.
Bye.
Don't worry, dear. I'll take care of it. How do you manage to keep your fabric so white? Wow! And how do you manage to keep your house this clean?
I always use Hypo to make our white clothes whiter and to keep our home clean and germ-free.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your home free of illness causing viruses and germs with the disinfecting power of Hypo Bleach.
Fellow Nigerians, the opportunity we've been waiting for is here. The ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, has commenced membership registration and revalidation exercise.
This is why the chairman, APC Mobilization and Sensitization Committee for Youths, Women and People Living with Disabilities, His Excellency Alhaji Yahaya Bello, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, is calling on all Nigerians, especially youth, the Sorosoke generation, to register and join the APC in the party's membership registration and revalidation exercise that has already commenced.
The exercise is currently ongoing at all polling units across the country, beginning from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily.
For more information, visit our website at www.officialapc.org.
APC is the only party that offers Nigerian youths the best political platform to achieve their dreams of a prosperous nation.
Join us to move Nigeria forward.
I am Governor Yabelo of Kogi State, Chairman, Youths, Women and People Living with Disabilities Mobilization and Sensitization Committee of the APC Membership Registration and Revalidation Exercise 2021, and I approve this message.
Mommy is back! Guess what's inside?
Chocolate. Biscuit.
Our new toothpaste, Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Why are we changing our toothpaste?
Because with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, I can be sure your teeth are cavity-free.
Cavity? What cavity?
Let me show you.
Most toothaches are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavity.
It also has natural mint for minty fresh breath every day.
Mom, can I eat chocolates now?
As long as you brush with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Colgate is the world's most chosen toothpaste.
Colgate locks calcium in.
Keeps cavities out!
Recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
The new Lifebuoy hand sanitizers with 70% alcohol will kill 99.9% of germs. Now available in convenient packs. Let us all take responsibility to fight this pandemic together.
Welcome back. Investment in youthful population of any nation remains a major catalyst in driving critical sectors of the economy for rapid socio-economic development. Thus, the present federal administration, since assumption of office in 2015, has continued to invest in the development of youths in the country. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that guests on NTA Tuesday Live underscored the sustainable progress with multiplier effects on individuals and the economy.
The nation's heart beats while the future of leaders of generations to come blinks. This may, however, be the usual slogan that threatens youth ambition of starting small and growing big before the birth of President Buhari's administration. Today, the narrative has changed as billions of naira under different youth investment and empowerment programs has been injected to salvage mistakes of the past and create a dependable future.
It is the responsibility of the ministry now to partner with all these agencies, not only one, not the agencies, even with the ministries. If there is any opportunity like this, it is not meant for the people in Abuja or the people in the state capitals. It is for Nigerians. So it is their responsibility to find a means, to find a medium that will reach out to all nooks and crannies of this country.
You don't need to know anyone. If you have an authentic idea, if you have an idea, and seriously, there are a lot of youth out there with innovative products. You just need to show up. Just keep showing up. If there is an exhibition, be there.
Guests say no government in the history of Nigeria has made a huge investment in its youth and expressed confidence that beneficiaries of the funds will in the nearest future build an economy that is self-reliant.
Between 2015 and 2020, those of us that have been tracking, this empowerment thing can say that to a large extent, the government had deliberately deployed policies, and programs to elevate and upskill the Nigerian youth.
Those social interventions are social interventions, as they were called, an effort to limit, to alleviate. They are not permanent solutions.
As government continues to accord priority to the youth, stakeholders say utilization of the funds should meet the collective aspirations of all for a productive and prosperous country. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
And beyond growing the number of empowered youths in the country, the federal government's youth investment program is promoting a new consciousness among young Nigerians, forcing a mental shift from white-collar jobs to entrepreneurship and economic self-reliance. Adeni Taiwo reports that many beneficiaries are working on growing their seeds to trees to provide shade for others.
Daniel Kingsley is busy but happy. With his deft hands and prowess at leatherworks, he has carved a niche for himself as a budding entrepreneur whose products draw patronage from far and near.
Last year, December, at least I have like 7 PS that they took outside. They took it to UK.
He has capital, one factor of production less to worry about, having benefited from the resettlement package of a federal government youth empowerment program with technical support from the National Directorate of Employment.
They asked me, what do you need to start up your own? I said, okay, I have a sewing machine. So they said, no, can you operate the industrial machine? I said, yes. So they helped me, at least they gotten one for me. That's what I'm using to train my students.
When you have impacted in them skills, you give them resettlement packages in terms of equipment and even cash.
Shehu Abdurrahim got a similar head start from the federal government, and with a monthly proceeds of about 300,000 naira from his aluminium fabrication business, he believes the way out of unemployment in the country is for government to sustain investment in youth development.
I can't leave this work and work in the office because this work is okay for me.
Technical input provided by the NDE is a major component of the investment program, and it has positioned Daniel and Shehu's businesses along with that of other beneficiaries in Lagos on a positive trajectory with a potential for rapid expansion.
We work hand in hand with some organizations that have the funds to give out, like the microfinance, the NISA Microfinance Bank, an offshoot of the Central Bank.
Convinced that providing youth with tools for economic self-reliance is the way to go, the federal government in 2020 announced the disbursement of 75 billion naira Youth Investment Fund through the Central Bank of Nigeria. In Lagos, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
And similarly, participants of COVID-19 Action Response Economic Stimulus Training in Just say they are leveraging on the federal government's empowerment program to improve their social economic status. Saadat Mohammed Kafa has more on the training.
19 Action Response Economic Stimulus is one of the programs of the National Social Investment Program since its inception in 2016. Drawn from the 17 local government areas of the state, these participants are expected to become agents who will enumerate beneficiaries in their communities. The training is geared towards making youth financially stable for economic development.
They will go back to your respective local government and engage with the communities. Already sensitization has been on and will continue to sensitize people so that they will avail themselves to benefit from this program.
The program is to have beneficiaries in all the 17 local governments in Plateau. So that means that I didn't have to go out. When they go out, where they go to is called the field. So they're not going out to farm, they're going out to actually look for beneficiaries and enumerate them.
Participants lauded the initiative, saying it will go a long way in changing the narrative.
It's a program that is going to, uplift the standard of the living of the masses of business people in the society.
The Government Economic Empowerment Program, GEP, is one out of various federal government initiatives to take Nigerians out of poverty. In Jos, Saadat Mohammed Kafa, NTA News.
Thank you, Saadat. Now to a scary one. There are reports indicating that in few years, Nigeria may be importing meat to meet the protein demand of citizens. The reason is that climate change, lack of grazing areas, conflicts and rustling are forcing the livestock breeders to migrate out of the country. Musa Babalu in this report takes a look at climate change and the plight of livestock breeders in northern Nigeria.
This is how most parts of the northern Nigeria looks like during the rainy season. Farms everywhere, only few spaces are left untouched, and in the dry season, the whole greenish area turns dry, accompanied with hot and harsh weather, windy and cold during Harmattan. This is the region that is housing more than 80% of the about 200 million population of livestock available in the country. One wonders how the animals are surviving in this kind of environment. And this is the wisdom behind the policy of establishment of grazing areas in almost all states in the region.
If you don't allocate them land, with the kind of breeds of cattle we have, and the socio-cultural orientation of the cattle farmers, it will be very difficult for you to say you are going to keep them to a corner.
The Food and Agriculture Organization is encouraging states and private organizations on the need to invest in grass and fodder as a way of addressing migration.
I think the livestock industry needs also encouragement so that they can also have value for what they are doing.
Tafida Mafindi have for the past 10 years been in the business of fodder production and animal fattening business.
If the central bank can put in 2 billion and they can monitor and establish an outlet for collecting meat in the most hygienic way, I'm telling you the Nigerian meat will be exported to Dubai.
It's been invested, a lot of capacity has been put in place, a lot of skills, and the earlier we promote this culture of improved meat processing, the better for the nation.
The worry among stakeholders in the livestock sector is the politicization of the farmers' headers crisis. They challenge the northern state governors with this question: if you ban open grazing, what alternative do you have for the pastoralists? Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
A very good question there, Hamasi Musa. In every adverse situation that befalls mankind, there shall be a necessity to derive positive benefits out of it. This describes the condition of Jigawa farmers, bedeviled by perennial flood disaster that leaves them with lasting pains for the losses they suffer. Mansur Aliyu Hassan reports that the years of unabated flood disaster has taken Jigawa farmers off the traditional rain-fed farming to a massive irrigation farming practice with support from the federal and the state governments.
It is an established fact that the pains of Jigawa farmers will soon be a thing of the past. This is because of the massive intervention from both federal and state governments over the years have successfully put the farmers on the track of sustainable and risk-free farming practice. Irrigation farming has come to stay in the state, especially in the flood-ravaged communities, serving as the best alternative to the uncontrollable rain-fed farming practice.
We learned to know that areas of Birniwa, Sultankarkar, the extreme northern part of Jigawa state, they are going to experience a short duration of rainfall. So we normally do it according to local governments. We have the onset of the rainfall when it is going to cease. So if you are expecting 120 days of rainfall, you know the type of crop that you are going to plant.
This can be ascertained by the sustained supply of the farm produce to Jigawa markets, forcing prices of some commodities down compared to a few months ago. Notable among them is onion, which was likened to a gold 2 months ago, caused by its scarcity as a result of the flood disaster. Not too long ago, a bag of the onion was sold for 85,000 naira, but courtesy of the irrigation farming, a bag is now sold for 40,000 naira.
Yanayin noman albasa gaskiya idan mutum ya bashi kwarin gwiwa to zai iya rike shi sama da shekara guda ma yana cin gajiyar abin domin ka gani iri na noma kuma alhamdulillah har yanzu ina cin albarkacin irin ina ganin har ranar ne ya shige ma albarkan irin da na noma na bara yana nan.
The price reduction, however, is not in the onion alone. Other communities such as rice, wheat, maize and vegetables, as well as fruits are also affected.
Matsalolinmu na rani kaga za mu samu sauki akan wannan noma da muke yi. Baya da haka kaga kaman wannan mun shuka kaga wannan masara za ta sake agaza mana akan wahalolin da muke fama na kaman au.
The second wave of coronavirus has as well forced many able young men to stay at home and earn their source of livelihood through all year-round farming, instead of resorting to urban migration in search of job. Many of them, like Haladu, are saying bye-bye to such practice as they have seen their good future in irrigation farming.
Sai muka ga hanya mafi sauki a karkaranmu, maimakon muna tashi muna tafiya wani gun mu rungumi wannan abin yana ganin shi ma za mu iya rike kanmu da shi.
Experts finding reveal that small-scale irrigation farming has the capacity of transforming the lives of rural farmers through earning increased reliable income if institutional and capacity issues of the farmers are addressed. Agriculturalists believe that if the tempo is sustained, the Nigeria's dream of achieving food sufficiency in the country would not be far-fetched. From Dutse, Mansour Aliyu Hassan, NTA News.
And from Dutse, we head to Mina, where health experts and water managers in Mina, the Niger State capital, are expressing fears over the possibility of the spread of waterborne diseases as a result of illegal mining activities on the stretch of River Chanchaga, which is upstream of Badegi and Bidda Waterworks. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo investigates these activities and their effects on water bodies and humans.
River Chanchaga, which has its source from River Tagwai, flows up to Bida, local government area of Niger State and beyond. The river is the source of water to the people of Mina, Badegi, Bida, and their adjoining communities. The river is said to have deposits of gold, attracting illegal miners.
Firstly, when you look at them, you think they are looking for their daily bread. But the truth is there are some miscreants among them, and they can take advantage and even poison the water.
Although the illegal miners carry out their activities downstream of the intake of Chanchaga water works, the flowing water leads to Badegi and Bida water works.
It's not only just along the river. If you go even along the Koroka village, all those areas where you go in, there's been a lot of illegal mining going on. You know, unchecked is a big problem, I think, for our state.
If gold gets into the water, it can cause, if they are mining things that are related to like lead, they could also have lead-related diseases.
According to some stakeholders in the state, even though the federal government's description refers to the miners as artisans, the river stretch where they carry out their activities is under the title of Zuma Mineral Development Company of Niger State, indicating that the state and federal governments are losing revenue as they don't pay tax and royalties.
The activity is only actually causing a very serious disaster to our environment in terms of degrading the environment, and that will cause further erosion, especially when the rain starts.
The issue of rivers and channel tributaries are strictly the issue of the federal government, because these are cross-cutting issues. They cross around states. That is what the water bill is supposed to protect, that is still in the house and been receiving consideration.
We advised the Niger State Council to set up a committee.
The illegal mining activities on the stretch of the river, if not addressed, may result in loss of physical environment such as land degradation and water quality. In Mina, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
Thank you, Mukhtar, for that. If you are familiar with Marabanjos on the busy Kaduna-Zaria highway and traffic gridlock, as well as indiscriminate parking by heavy-duty trucks, it will certainly be good news to say that all is now history with the completion of a park by the Kaduna State government and directives to relocate to the permanent facility. To know more about it, here is Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachku.
The new phase of Marabanjos, a once dreaded location along Kaduna-Zaria Road, dreaded because of obstructions caused by drivers of haulage vehicles who park indiscriminately by the roadside. Musa Ali and Yusuf Abubakar, both drivers, believe evacuating them from the highway was one of the best ways of minimizing road crashes and saving travel time along the route.
We are now sure of our safety and that of our vehicles. It is a welcome development.
If you leave the road, you go to the trailer park, it's very important to park in the garage.
We thank God for this initiative. Parking by the roadside exposes us to a lot of risk.
Aside minimizing road accidents, the removal of articulated vehicles from the roadside also removes hindrances to the progress of work at the Abuja, Kaduna, Cano road at this axis.
Tafa, Marabanjos, of course, it has been an eyesore. It has been a pain to people that use those routes to travel. And it has been a security problem, generally.
As work on the second phase of the park progresses and drivers comply with the directive to park their vehicles within the designated arena, Federal Road Safety Corps and other traffic regulatory agencies plan to sustain enforcement against roadside parking. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikun, NTA News.
It's been said over and over that government cannot do everything. Citizens and communities are free to help in development projects, and of course, such projects abound. Here is a case in Lokoja, Kogi State, where some communities have taken up the task of roads rehabilitation while awaiting government's intervention. Francis Udojo tells us about it.
Lokoja, the Kogi State capital, is fast developing into a mega city with several economic activities as well as architectural development popping up in different parts of the metropole. 500-unit Lokoja and its environs are some of the areas seen to have added a first lift to the growing city. Unfortunately, the road networks in the area have been threatened with environmental hazards, especially as a result of erosion, leaving motorists, commuters, and residents in dilemma.
We did this last week, and I'm still trying to make it more motorable.
6-year-old Emanuela Abba and other residents of the 500-unit and its environs seek the government for attention.
I want Arabello to pay the road for the cars to pass and my daddy can too, so that the road will be very good.
You can see behind me, this pole is almost falling.
But when the flooding go, then the government just abandon us.
One striking thing about the residents of the area is their joint effort to put the roads in shape, though not enough to curtail the threat posed by the erosion.
If this road blocked and the express is blocked and this road is blocked, there's no any alternative road except this one.
If the bypass roads through the back could be done, I think that will help alleviate the problem of people. As many persons that are passing through here, their remarks concerning this place is not a good one at all.
The 500-unit and its extensions being one of the alternative routes for travelers, especially during the flooding seasons, it is the desire of the people of Lokoja Metropolis, including the 6-year-old Emanuela Abba, that favorable attention be given for the rehabilitation of the deplorable areas of the road. In Lokoja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
And still in Lokoja, basic education is key to capacity and growth development as it enhances acquisition of knowledge and skills. Primary and secondary schools remain fundamental foundations for formal education in any society. Correspondent Solomon Ayedehing x-rays the situation of public schools in Kogi State.
One of the legacies bequeathed on Kogi State by the colonial masters was sound education. This was evidenced in the relics of the first primary school in the northern Nigeria, established in Lokoja in 1865. Today, there are about 284 public secondary schools across the 21 local government areas of the state. One of such schools is Sardauna Memorial College.
Last January, it clocked 57 years of existence. It has produced so many dignitaries in the country.
The standard of education in the state over the years has suffered a great deal as a result of challenges ranging from lack of teachers, infrastructural decadence.
Our roof is not good, and whenever rain is falling, we have to move to one side.
The structure of the schools, some of the places were dilapidated.
The administration of this government is trying its best, but the aspect of the welfare of teachers, because up till now, we are still taking percentage salary.
And previously, they're owing them. The percentage once is paid, that is all about the balance.
That the country at large has challenges in this respect, where you have schools that don't have enough teachers. They are there. These were not the cases when we were growing up.
In science laboratory system, we are not having.
We are aware of the challenges of the primary school teachers, and I can tell you that His Excellency the Governor has given approval for a committee to commence work on improving the lot of the primary school teachers in the local government areas. And this is not politics. It is serious business.
He craved the support of private individuals, corporate organizations, including international donor agencies, to rally the state to achieve its set goals in education.
If the current effort geared towards improving the standard of education in Kogi State is sustained, the much needed human capital development required to fast-track the development of the state will be guaranteed in a short while. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
In another story, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says it remains committed to intervening in educational institutions with projects and grants that will impact positively on the lives of Nigerians as part of its corporate social responsibility. Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Malam Milekolo Kari, stated this at the inauguration of 2 blocks of students' hostel donated to the Federal University Dutse for its medical students. Awal Mohammed Kazauri has the details.
The 2 blocks of hostels consisting of 44 rooms at Rashid Shakoni Teaching Hospital Dutse, donated by NNPC, was constructed at the cost of over 500 million naira. The hostels are expected to accommodate more than 370 male and female medical students of the university.
Hereby commission a students' medical hostel to the benefit of the entire university community and the humanity as large.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation says it attaches importance to the development and progress of institutions of learning, hence the support to Federal University Dutse.
These efforts are anchored on the GMD's TEP agenda of transparency, accountability, and performance excellence. My presence with my team here re-emphasizes the importance NNPC places on supporting institutions like yours through its corporate social responsibility, CSR.
While soliciting for more interventions, the management of the university says it has secured a 2 billion naira support from TED Fund for the institution to expand its programs and infrastructure.
The commencement of your project brought luck to the university because 4 new projects are now ongoing and have advanced to various levels of completion.
In another development, the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing has handed over a 2 kilometers road constructed by the federal government at the university's main campus. From Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazauri, NTA News.
So far, so good. When we return from this next interval, we are about to take enforcement of COVID-19 regulations upswing. Find out who got hit by the hammer as correspondent takes us through the myths and facts of COVID-19 vaccine. Do stay with us.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
See how much it now looks better. Golden pennies and moving new look, the same great taste. Golden pennies and moving
new look, same great taste with natural ingredients. Contains proteins that help maintain a balanced diet.
New look, same great
Golden Penny Semovita, your soul food.
It is time for celebration. 30 years bustling with goodness. The challenge can never ever stop us. You can't underrate us. You can't underrate. Water Guinness, bustling with so much greatness. Water Guinness, enjoy a world of good.
How did I get here? It all started shortly after I graduated from MSTC, the Model Skills Training Center with a certificate in ICT. I successfully developed a data management program that has been called the software of the future. Thanks to its success, everyone wants it. And as you can see, now everyone wants me. But I'm not alone. The skills training programs at MSTC are equipping young Nigerians to become the next big success story. Whether it's ICT, mechatronics, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, or culinary studies, a certificate at MSTC is the way of the future. And just like me, there he is. Everyone will want you to.
ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
Arsenal seek revenge against Aston Villa after their loss to their opponents at the Emirates Stadium last time out. Will they succeed, or will Villa do the double over the Gunners this season? Find out this Saturday when Aston Villa welcome Arsenal to Villa Park on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA network from 1 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Babai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Gold.com.
Great to have you back on News Extra. OPEC optimistic of more demand as global economy recovers, just as Nigeria Economic Summit Group predicts positive growth for Nigeria in the next 4 years. Comfort Amadou is here with details on business news. Comfort, let's talk business. You're welcome.
All right, now the outlook for the oil remains brighter, with demand estimated to rise by 3.3 million barrels per day. OPEC emphasized that the positive contributions of the Declaration of Cooperation in supporting a rebalancing of the global oil market at the Joint Technical Committee meeting of OPEC in Vienna, Austria. Now, the 26th meeting of the Joint Ministerial Monitoring Committee held virtually observed that in December 2020, stocks in Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development countries had fallen for the 5th consecutive month, noting that the economic prospects and oil demand would remain uncertain in the coming months. And the gradual rollout of vaccines around the world is a positive factor for the rest of the year, boasting that the global economy and oil demand. The committee remained that all participating countries to remain vigilant and flexible given the uncertain market conditions and to stay on course. Now, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, in its 2021 macroeconomic outlook, projects that the Nigerian economy would grow by 2.9% this year and achieve a sustained high growth rate to 2025, in line with the expected global recovery. The NESG says Nigeria would achieve a more robust and resilient economy demonstrated by improved external reserve and fiscal position, as well as moderate inflation rate of 14.5%, with government revenue at 23.3% in 2025, while the exchange rate will become stable as unemployment and poverty ease over time. Sadiq Olofin of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group says unemployment and poverty must be tackled as a foundation for economic recovery.
Of increase in crude oil production and so many other positivity around the macro environment. With that, we expect the economy to recover from recession in 2021.
By 0.10% to close at 42,000, as against the previous contraction of 0.74%. Its year-to-date currently stands at plus 4.29%. Union Bank of Nigeria, Guarantee and FCMB were the most active to boost market turnover. And on the global scene, world shares rose on Wednesday as the volatility caused by retail trading frenzy on Wall Street subsided. Fatih?
Well, thank you so much. Wow, a lot, I must say. Interesting one. Thank you so much for the business package. Now, the federal government has assured Nigerians that COVID-19 vaccines, like all previous vaccines, will be validated by NAFDAC before they are administered on Nigerians. Yet, the social media has been awash with a range of conspiracy theories about the COVID-19 vaccine, and correspondent Mitari Peng sought the opinion of health experts and analysts to distinguish the facts from fiction.
Health experts describe vaccination as the safest and most effective public health intervention known to man. All of humanity have been vulnerable to the COVID-19 pandemic.
With a vaccine, all right, it will drastically slow down and reduce the spread and the fatalities.
While Nigeria is still expecting her share of COVID-19 vaccines, conspiracy theories are moving faster than the vaccines.
You know, there is a big difference between science and emotions. Somebody took a shot and immediately collapsed, or somebody took a shot and is dancing like a zombie. These are all lies.
Common questions and concerns about the COVID-19 vaccine include, does it interfere with the human DNA?
In this case, the messenger RNA that is injected actually goes into the cell and produces a piece of the viral protein that the immune system will recognize. But it doesn't integrate within human DNA. It doesn't.
Why was it developed with phenomenal speed?
The mRNA technology is a new one because it took us 10 years to invent, a vaccine using the modified traditional way, and then new technology, it should also take us 10 years. No, it doesn't make sense.
Are there side effects?
Even with the very safe polio vaccine, there are cases of 1 in a million where you actually give the vaccine and the person comes out with a polio. Will you, because of that 1 in a million, not vaccinate 1 million less one?
Why are the non-pharmaceutical interventions still needed after vaccination?
When we are vaccinated, it takes about, on average basis of 45 days for us to develop the immunity. What happens to us in those 45 days that we are waiting? We should take this very, very serious.
The experts advocate massive enlightenment campaign ahead of the arrival of the vaccines.
We should start with our political office holders. They should be the first people to go and test it. The health workers will be asked to take. They are our image. We want to see them bracing up to the fact that they are sure of what they are importing.
In as much as we have the relevant bodies like NAFDAC that will ascertain whether it is still in good form before it is dispensed to anyone. I think we should have that faith in it.
There is consensus among health experts that no government will want to procure vaccine for any purpose other than public health and safety. Meanwhile, courtesy of the COVAX Alliance, Nigeria is expecting 16 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine to roll out the national vaccination program. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
As Nigeria awaits the supply of COVID-19 vaccines, Kaduna state government has concluded arrangements to deploy drones for the delivery of vaccines and medicines, especially to remote locations of the state. Mohammed Umar Ajingi reports that the state governor, Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai, has signed the agreement with an international technology company to deliver the service.
Agreement signed, deal sealed, and drone ready to be deployed. Unlike the Oman Air vehicles meant for theater of operations, this bridge is purposely designed to save lives, especially in hard-to-reach areas. Daniel Morfo is the African senior officer of the technology company that signs the agreement with the Kaduna state government. He explains how the drone works.
So it's like a mini airplane with a cargo hold in which we put the medical products. And if a health facility needed something, they would place a phone call or send us a WhatsApp or an SMS. And then within 5 minutes, the drone leaves the base and it will get to the destination within 45 minutes.
The Kaduna state government is quick to take the advantage of the availability of this technology towards improving on its healthcare delivery services.
This technology will
not only ensure that the remotest parts of Kaduna State get medical commodities as and when due, but will also ensure that they are delivered in perfectly good condition. As you know, we're in the process of purchasing vaccines for COVID-19 that must be kept at certain temperatures to be effective. The delivery service is expected to begin this year for Kaduna people to get drug supplies at the comfort of their homes. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
The Coronavirus Disease Health Protection Regulations 2021 is a legal instrument meant to safeguard the health of Nigerians, and the Federal Ministry of Environment is set to enforce it. To this end, the ministry has mobilized a team of environment health officers for heightened surveillance of public places to monitor compliance with the presidential regulations. Onenge Fineface reports.
In reaction to what is termed unpatriotic disregard to the COVID-19 prevention protocol nationwide, Minister of Environment Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar says the COVID-19 Health Protection Regulation 2021 signed by the President aims to give legal backing to enforcement of preventive measures. Environmental health officers in the ministry will spearhead surveillance of public places to enforce the regulations.
We all as citizens have responsibility to ensure that all the provisions therein are complied with in the interest of all of us. Remember that the health of one is the health of all.
Failure to carry out this directive to monitor and enforce compliance, especially with non-pharmaceutical measures, will also attract sanctions.
We are going to put a monitoring committee that will monitor the practitioners in the field. How far are they going as far as the enforcement of the regulation as contained in the 2021 HPRS?
The ministry wants Nigerians, especially operators of public spaces, to increase the frequency of disinfection to contain spread of the virus. In Abuja, Onengiye Fineface, NTA News.
Recently, President Buhari signed the COVID-19 Disease Health Protection 2021 regulations to ensure the well-being of Nigerians by curtailing the spread of coronavirus. A mobile court constituted to sanction offenders of the executive order has been sitting at the Eagle Square in Abuja. Olabode Arewa, who covered the court's proceedings, reports that over 137 convictions have been recorded this week alone.
Those were some traders in Abuja whose markets were sanctioned for flouting the COVID-19 guidelines after paying the fines imposed on them by the mobile courts.
We appeared before the court, and the court has graciously given order for the markets to be unsealed. Of course, we were not just left without some penalties, yes.
Nigeria is a country of law, and the rule of law must be obeyed.
We assure the magistrate that we are going also to assist in making sure that every single tenant that come into MOB to make any trade, to make any business, have to comply.
The mobile court seated here meted out sanctions on the individuals and corporate entities who pleaded guilty to the infractions. Among them, Wuse Markets, Mog Shopping Plaza, and the UTC Business Complex at Area 7, despite the continuous sensitization on the need for social distancing and the wearing of face masks. Some Nigerians continue to flout the rules. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
The mobile court sitting at the Eagle Square, Abuja, has ordered the unsealing and reopening of Wuse Market, UTC, and Morgue Shopping Plaza. Abdullahi Ajay reports that this followed a plea of leniency entered by the traders and markets management before the magistrate.
For the past 3 days, the nation's capital, Abuja, has witnessed a demonstration of the enforcement of the COVID-19 Health Protection Regulations 2021, with several arrests and prosecution of offenders, including the closure of Wuse Markets, UTC, and the mock shopping plazas by the mobile court for 3 days. Upon its sitting on Wednesday, the court entertained the plea for leniency from the market leadership and management after putting all necessary safety protocols in the affected markets. Magistrate Idayat Akoni, in her ruling, ordered for the payment of 50,000 naira each and the unsealing and reopening of the markets, with a caution to henceforth adhere strictly to the safety protocols. Thereafter, the markets were reopened amidst jubilation from the expectant traders.
We hope to maintain and continue with the process.
The members of this complex will comply with the protocol.
Moving forward, the FCT COVID-19 Enforcement Task Force maintained that, with much advocacy being backed by the law, the team will spare no offender until it records full compliance.
The markets have tested the very bitter pills. The mobile court is getting overstretched. So if you look at it from all perspectives here, the area is getting real serious when it comes to enforcement.
Both the FCT task force and the market management agreed to work together to sustain the tempo of enforcement, spearheaded by the FCT administration. Going by the enforcement exercise in the nation's capital, Abuja, the enforcers of this law believe that they are making headway going by what they have recorded in the last 3 days. Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
And Kano State government has shut down a private health facility for allegedly handling severe cases of COVID-19. The action followed an assessment visit to the hospital by officials, including the State Commissioner for Health, Aminu Ibrahim Zanyawa, and that of Information, Mohammed Garba. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
The private health facility, owned and being operated by Indians, is situated along Gwarzo Road in Kano metropolis. It reportedly accounts for one of the recent COVID-19 related deaths in Kano. Another patient was also said to have died while being taken to the hospital. This is in addition to 2 others who are on admission for severe symptoms of the viral disease. Kano State Task Force on COVID-19 described the situation as unprofessional and could trigger community transmission.
Center doesn't have the facility to manage critical cases and severe cases of COVID-19. So they are adding up to our mortality for COVID.
The task force directed the immediate transfer of the 2 COVID-19 patients to an isolation center and closure of the hospital.
For those with medical and surgical conditions, we have made adequate arrangement with Muhammad Abdullah Wase Teacher Hospital, Murtala Mohammed Specialist Hospital, where we have all evacuated the patients to that facilities. So
the commissioner warned that any attempt to undermine the state government's efforts towards containing community transmission of the disease will be dealt with. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Juicy details have been trending over paternity test. The question is, would you want to make a go at it? Don't miss out on this in our next segment. See you shortly.
Wilson family last week. This is the Wilson family this week. What's changed?
What?
The Wilson family got maximum entertainment for less, and now they're closer than ever. Your family can be too.
How does this work?
With world-class international channels that put the quality back in your quality time.
That's what I'm talking about.
GoTV Max will bring you and your family closer in no time. So upgrade to GoTV Max for only 2,999 naira today. Make you enjoy. GoTV. Love it.
I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen.
Teacher, you a fellow one country. Teacher, you a fellow one country. Omoni resiti
Ajebona better school for last giddy. Not be all this on a rugged yes school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
Sega, it's called Oja Village. Kadesi. We know happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders too. Hey, we are trying, shall sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was...
seek revenge against Aston Villa after their loss to their opponents at the Emirates Stadium last time out. Will they succeed, or will Villa do the double over the Gunners this season? Find out this Saturday when Aston Villa welcome Arsenal to Villa Park on the Premier League Live, showing on the NTA network from 1 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank, Babai Jebu, Lipton, and Close Up, in association with Gold.com.
Thanks for being there. The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, says the legacy projects of the Premier of the defunct Northern Region, Sir Ahmadu Bello, will continue to serve as a guide for the promotion of a united and indivisible Nigeria. The Director General was speaking when he received in audience the management of Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation. Abakar Usman Akwanga reports.
The Director General NTA Yakubu Ibn Mohammed says Sir Ahmadu Bello was an impeccable character who united the North and gave every part of it quality representation. The DG acknowledged the mandate of the foundation and urged it to continue to strive in mentorship and preservation of Sardauna principles. Yakubu Ibn Mohammed urged the foundation to join in the fight against COVID-19 and insecurity in the region and project values that will promote unity and foster national integration.
All foundations dedicated to the memories of our founding fathers is to remember that we will be doing a disservice to our founding fathers if we contribute in one way or the other to the disintegration of this country. Nigeria must remain united. Together, we can make it. So we must, while encouraging
for 11 years, we've been able to train 2,000 entrepreneurship and vocational skills training programs.
He appreciates the role of the Nigerian Television Authority in stabilizing the country and promised to partner NTA for effective service delivery. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Now, you want to know if the children are truly yours? Do you want to do a paternity test? Well, that is what is trending, with the growing concern over perceived cases of paternity fraud in Nigeria, with divergent reactions though. In Port Harcourt, Rivers State, some call for caution on the part of men towards averting the associated social and psychological crisis. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, contains one's genetic information, transmitting same to one's children. One of its functions in medical science is to determine the biological connection between a child and the parents. Cases of paternity fraud in Nigeria appear to be on the increase.
The problem, if they go for the test, brother, the shock, the psychological effect will be much.
We don't want to dig into that. But if we should start that now, there will be a problem.
Some of them, their husbands to be aware that there is a sugar daddy, but they didn't know that sometimes most first children are sugar daddies and kids.
What are the possible effects of going for a DNA test? Would you advise that couples should go for this when there is suspicion? Some suggest one could take this option in the extreme circumstance.
Observers have also called for caution, especially bearing in mind the social and psychological effects.
Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, contains one's genetic information, transmitting same to one's children. One of its functions in medical science is to determine the biological connection between a child and the parents. Cases of paternity fraud in Nigeria appear to be on the increase, with infidelity as the major cause.
The problem, if they go for the test, brother, the shock, the psychological effect will be much, because it will bring disaster. So the best thing is just to allow the sleeping dog to lie.
We don't want to dig into that. But if we should start that now, there will be a problem, both on the women's side and on the men's side.
Some of them, their husbands to be aware that there is a sugar daddy, but they didn't know that sometimes most first children are sugar daddies and kids.
What are the possible effects of going for a DNA test? Would you advise that couples should go for this When there is suspicion, some suggest one could take this option in the extreme circumstance.
Observers have also called for caution, especially bearing in mind the social and psychological effects on the children.
For men who want to find out, it's because they don't trust the women that they are living in the house with. Now, if you go to find out and this woman has stayed faithful.
And to sports now. Defending champions Morocco are up against Mali in the final of the African Nations Championship after a comprehensive victory over host Cameroon Wednesday evening. The Atlas Lions cruised